Items accepted include electronics, appliances, furniture, passenger and light truck tires, packing, shipping, and food-grade foam products, plastic bags, and more. Please be aware, this is not a hazardous materials collection. No hazardous waste, liquids, or other chemicals will be accepted. The Mountain Area Hard to Recycle series brought to you by Keep Fayette County Green and the Springfield Township Supervisors. Saturday, September 7th from 8 a.m. to noon at the Springfield Township Municipal Building. For more information, contact Sheila Shea at sshea@fayettepa.org. We will see you there.
Did you take your medications this morning? Apothecare Pharmacy now offers Apothepacks. All your medications come in pre-sorted packs organized by the date and time you take them. From seniors to caregivers to parents whose children take medications at school to travelers, Apothepacks helps people know when and how to take their medicines. It's free to make the switch from bottles. Call us at 724-437-7801. That's 724-437-7801 to get started with Apothepacks. Ask us about free delivery.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, Jeff Dennis of RE/MAX Select Realty is your local realtor of choice. Jeff and his team are proud members of our community and have the skills, knowledge, and ability to meet your needs. Call them today at 724-933-6300, extension 903. Or visit them in person at 542 Morgantown Street in Uniontown. And remember to follow Jeff Dennis' team RE/MAX Select Realty on Facebook today. As the weather warms up, don't run from the sun. Enjoy more time on your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made right here in the USA with both manufacturer and customer satisfaction guarantees, Lifetime Awnings provides a product that lasts. Veteran owned and operated, a 10% discount is offered to all military veterans and their families. For a no-cost obligation free home consultation, call 724-554-6067 or email the owner, John, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
At Montgomery Medical, they've got Monty Med's same-day care for whatever life throws at you this summer.
Mom, I picked these just for you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. This is poison ivy. Oh, boy.
Montgomery Medical can treat your itchiest adventures this summer, along with whatever else ails you. Walk-ins are accepted. Monty Med's same-day care at Montgomery Medical in Smithfield or call 724-569-8100. Monty Med's same-day care is open Saturdays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Not a patient, not a problem.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect gift. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson is here in Uniontown to help you select the right protection at the right price. Nate will make sure you understand your coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call Nate when you want the real deal.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Think about the last time you thanked yourself for something. Maybe it was that me time you took last Tuesday, or finally learning Italian. Want to do something you'll really thank yourself for later? Start creating a plan for your financial goals today. State Farm Agent Nathan Ferguson is right here in Uniontown to help you look at the things you want to save for and build a plan to set you up for success. The earlier you start planning, the better off you will be. Call State Farm Agent Nathan Ferguson today and thank yourself later. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guest, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the position of WMBS Radio. The following is a paid political presentation. Candidates may have provided all or some questions to the host and may or may not take phone calls. WMBS and the host do not endorse any political candidate on air during a paid political presentation.
Attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by. Watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns. Don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. Today's show is being brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Mileser's Garage and Tire Center, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery and Storage in U-Haul. If you get a chance, call Hubie up and wish him happy birthday. Tactical Civics, Solid Foundation Ministries, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, the Hillbilly Jon radio show, which you can catch on YouTube, and I don't know how many different platforms now. Jon Marietta for We the People, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, and the Ink Spot. Well, I want to start out with this. I'm just going to do a Bible verse today to start out. And God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because he rested from all the work of creating that he hath done. That's Genesis 2:3. The reason I wanted to start out with that is because Tuesday is Labor Day, and I want to tell everybody that we need to thank all the American workers for what they do. I am probably one of the biggest advocates of unions and days off and benefits in Fayette County. I am a Republican, and I can tell you as a quick story. I helped negotiate several union contracts, and I would always walk in late, and the company would always say, I would walk in, and the company people would look up and say, and I'd always tell them, I said, well, the Republicans here now, we can get business done. So, anyways. I believe in everybody. I believe in equal rights as far as labor goes. I think we need to promote our laborers. We have to thank all the people that's going to work on Monday, the EMS workers, the people in the fire departments, and all the policemen that help protect and keep us. And we need to thank God for all these people that do this job. So with that, this has been a day I will probably remember till I die, because I called Bud out the airport about something not even related to this subject this morning. And I said to Bud, and he says, you got to get to the airport. And I says, well, tell me what's going on. He says, you got to come out here. We have the Ford Tri-Motor airplane, 1929, right? Folks, everybody can agree I got that right? Okay, 1929, which was built way before I was even thought about, but it was I got to fly on it, and I got to fly first class, believe it or not. So, and believe me, when I tell you flying first class, that means the two seats right behind the pilot. So I don't know whether that's good or bad, because But anyways, it was an amazing thing, and I want to thank you so much, Bud. I mean, I'm telling you what, it was amazing. My wife and I and a friend of ours, Joe Kelly, got to go with us, and I tell you what, it was such an amazing thing. I mean, the plane rattled a little bit, and the engines, the propellers sped up, and next thing I know, I was looking down at the ground, and we were over Fayette County, and then I tell you what. It was an amazing thing, and Bud's in trouble now, because I'm gonna call him every day. Do you need me to take a ride with somebody else? Because that was I really enjoyed that. I really did. So I have some people we got to introduce ourselves to. But in fact, let's start with Bud. Bud, did you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Okay, I'm Bud Neckarhar, and I am the manager at the Joseph A. Hardy Connellsville Airport, and I've been on the airport since 1984, but I've been a manager for almost 12 years now. And I'll turn it over to you.
And I'll turn it over to the next guest.
All right, my name is Jen Lowry. I work at EAA as the program manager, so I'm actually over the Ford Tri-Motor, the B-25, and all helicopter operations. So.
And tell us what EAA stands for, because I was hesitant about getting on this plane when she said this.
Yeah, EAA actually stands for Experimental Aircraft Association, so it freaks a lot of people out when you say experimental.
I said, wait a minute here now. I mean, well, I don't need to be part of an experiment. She said, oh, no, it isn't like that. Yeah. So, and we have the boss next, Steve.
The boss. I'm Steve Glazer, representative from our local EAA chapter 45 out of Ross Traver Airport. We are actually the tour stop hosts for the Tri-Motor while they're here this weekend.
And one last person, the girl that was the co-pilot.
Hi, my name is Bailey Noel. I'm the vice president of EAA Chapter 45, and I'd just like to say thank you to Bud for allowing us to host at Connellsville again this year, and Jen for reaching out and letting us host the Tri-Motor again.
Okay, I think we need to go to Bud real quick. But give us a brief history, and we're going to get you back on, and we're going to do a little bit more in depth. But just tell us what this airport helped win the war.
Well, yeah, the airport was started before the war, and government built the airport. It's 86 years old now, and it was built to train fighter pilots. The military trained fighter pilots there, and I believe they turned it over in the 60s, over to the authority, the Fayette County Airport Authority, and that's who runs it now. And there's a lot of history there, a lot of history. Some of the old stuff back from when they used searchlights to figure out the elevation of the clouds and everything, they're still there. You can still see them. They don't work. We don't try to get them working, but they're still there. So there is a lot of history at the airport. We do a lot more than what people think we do there. We have well, I think everybody knows we have the helicopter, the medical helicopter out of there, and we have a medical fixed wing operation, plus a charter business, and even a flight school. So it's come a long way, and we want it to go further, too. There's a lot that we can still do there.
Okay, so I think we need to move over to Steve here. I think was what we're going to do is because, Steve, you rebuilt this airplane that I flew on today.
Well, actually, I didn't. We'll pass it over to Jen with EAA. They're the ones who refurbished the airplane.
So EAA actually owns the aircraft. It was originally built by Ford in 1929, and it was Ford's attempt at, his, I guess, dipping his toe in the water of aviation, because he kind of figured that was where the things were headed.
And that would be Mr. Ford Sr.
Yeah, Mr. Ford Sr.
Yeah, but the story goes that his son didn't want to be involved in it.
Yeah.
And that's what but he went ahead and built a plant somewhere where his son didn't know about, or so I don't know what the whole deal.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a test to human ingenuity and engineering, because I mean, if you think about it, the Wright brothers flew in 1903, and less than 30 years later they have the Ford Trimotor. So it's incredible to see it, touch it, be able to ride on it. But yeah, EAA owns it, and we go across the country doing these tour stops in different cities every week. So this week we're here in Connellsville. So.
Well, actually, Dunbar Township.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was neat because, I flew on jets. I flew on small jets, not real small ones, but commercial, and big ones too. But you're sitting there and you're watching these propellers spin, and then all at once you hear the RPMs coming up on the right side, and the plane turns a little bit, and then he gets straightened up, and then you hear them all come up at the same time, and you can watch the gauges, because the gauges are right out the window, so you can see if something went bad in a hurry, and next thing you know, you're up in the air. I mean, I am really tickled about this. You don't know. Yeah. And I want to thank you for doing this, because this is something that people need to think about, and I really feel that our airport is underused. I figure we should be doing more things with it, and that's one of the things I get just from being around Bud and understanding, and I think we only need a few more feet, and we can land another bigger type of aircraft there, and it's not very many feet. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll keep working on it, and I think this is a great thing.
Oh yeah. There's nothing like the sound of a radial engine, and then whenever you have three of them together in harmony, that is an amazing sound. Especially hearing it fire up, the popping and cracking. See the smoke cloud behind it. I mean, it just brings a lot of nostalgia to, the environment.
Now, how many cylinders are on the smaller engines?
Oh, you're going to test me. I think it's 9 cylinders on each one of those.
Yeah. Oh, they're all about the same size?
Yeah, they're all.
They're 300 horsepower engines?
I believe so. 400?
400? Yeah.
It really puts you back in your seat whenever he gives the throttles, if you felt that.
Yeah. I mean, with today's technology, you could get 1,000 horsepower and with the right fuel out of probably one engine. If you really
easily.
Knew what to do. But that was my question before we took off. I said, how many of these engines have to run for us to get back home? And they said 2. So I was hoping that you would have said one, but I was going for it anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was really I don't know how to explain it to you, but I'm really impressed with everything.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know that the Tri-Motor, it was one of the first airlines that we had, domestically here. Brings a lot of history, and you get to see a little bit of, what aviation was like in the early days. And Jen, I think, can talk a little bit more about the history of the airplane. I'll throw out there, this airplane is a movie star, and it's done a lot of different roles, which is pretty exciting to see how it's been used over the years.
It was used in a few movies. I think Johnny Depp was one of the movies, or he was one of the movie stars in the movie. But yeah, it's in the last 100 years almost that it's been in existence. It's done a lot, so it is pretty cool to kind of transport yourself back when that thing starts up and rolls down the runway and lifts off.
Yeah,
it's an immersive experience for
sure. And the wheels stay down the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
this is before retracts.
Yeah,
retracts weren't invented yet.
I mean, I didn't know if I was going to have to crank something for the wheels to come up or what the deal was, but the pilot's adjusting everything by hand, and that was one of the things that, of course, you're doing it by sight of the gauges, but you're also doing it by ear, and I mean, he's adjusting the amount of fuel to the air ratio, and that was right on the dashboard.
Yeah, and still, airplanes today depends on the level of sophistication that's out there. But the airplane I fly, I still control, everything via cables, and control rods. I still control the mixture myself, the prop, the throttle. So a lot of that technology deployed back in the 20s is still alive and well today.
Now, most of these planes were they built actually for commercial flight, or were they built for the haul mail?
Well, they were originally built for commercial airline. Ours just happened to haul mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so what would be like the longest trip? Could you tell me? I mean, like if you was to leave Connellsville or Uniontown, how far could you get before we had to refuel? I mean, would it be?
Well, when nowadays, for the convenience of our pilots and just distance-wise, I try and go about 200 nautical miles from tour stop to tour stop.
Okay, so that would be like Columbus?
About
a little bit further than Columbus.
This
Bud's going down. But yeah, so okay, so you're getting on a commercial airliner in 19 whatever it was, if you could afford it. I can imagine the expense it was to get on that plane with baggage.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so you could fly. Say you wanted to go to St. Louis, so you'd have to fly from here to another airport, stop, refuel, and then fly to another airport, and you keep going until you got to St. Louis.
Yeah. So it wasn't as luxurious as stepping on a plane in New York and getting off in London or something like that. It was not very.
Well, I mean, you can go to Latrobe Airport and get on a plane, and you're in Orlando an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
I mean, the wheels is hitting the ground. So, I mean, or you can go to Myrtle Beach in 50 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a neat deal. Yeah. Go ahead, bud.
In 1929, how many people were still riding horses?
That will probably
So
most of
that's what I mean,
Fayette County.
Just coming out of that kind of,
Most of Fayette County.
Sure.
I mean, think about all the farmers and everything. And they probably used them for crop dusters, too, I imagine, somewhere along the way.
They did.
I mean, out in the West.
This plane was actually used as crop dusting, smoke jumping, barn storming. So this one's had quite a history of various usage.
Okay, so now we got through all that, and I'm tickled about all that. So now we got to talk about, I guess, the EAA. Is that what you want to
Sure.
describe that to people, what we're talking about and what things are about?
Yeah, so EAA, our headquarters is actually in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. We are an organization that really promotes and pushes the spirit of aviation. So we have student members.
Members all over the world.
All over the world.
Yep.
And chapters in a lot of little small towns all over the world and big towns. So we do a lot. We have an air venture every year in July.
Yeah.
So most people have, I'll call it, I guess they call it Oshkosh outside of
Yep.
town. But
Well, we will forever call it Oshkosh. Yes.
trying to
So
call
how
it
many
air venture.
planes fly into Oshkosh? Bud shaking
They
his-
have over 10,000 airplanes fly into Oshkosh.
On the ground.
On the ground, yep.
I always tell people you can't tell someone what Oshkosh is. You have to go there. I can't tell you what it is. It's just so big and there's so much going on constantly. You have to see it.
Yep. Very family friendly. Awesome community of people that you meet from all over the world.
All over the world.
Yep. And I think this year they had record attendance, 686,000 people.
Say that one more time.
686,000 people.
That's just a few
In
more
7
people
days.
that listen to my radio show. Yeah, we're yeah.
And we're talking about like in 7 days. That's how many. So you, on average, we're having like 100,000 people a day. And then in our campground, there are 50,000 people that come and camp in our campground. So it turns into the second largest city in the county for 7 days. And that one event in 7 days infuses about $180 million into the local economy.
Huh.
So it is a big.
Just think if we could have an event like that in Connellsville
it is
Airport.
amazing.
Huh?
So.
Get people to come.
Yeah, anything would be good. You know,
I mean,
you'll
just
never
think-
get one that big.
Not
because
that
it
big,
is.
but we'll
I
take.
don't know how many acres that is, but
it's a lot.
It's a
to
lot.
me, it's like from the Connellsville Airport to Uniontown, the mass of land.
Yeah.
I've been there, I think, 10, 11 times, something like that.
Well, I've been to the balloon festival in New Mexico.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've been there.
I have.
And I think you're talking about almost the same. It's I mean, people start arriving at the balloon festival because it takes time to inflate the balloons. So they start arriving like at 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 9 o'clock in the morning, I tell you what, you have to be able to walk the pace of everybody around you because that's how crowded it is. I mean, and I'm thinking that's what it's about. Yeah.
A lot more area. You wouldn't realize that there are that many people up there with how much area that the whole event takes up. So, and like Bud said, you just have to experience. It's hard to explain. Anybody that has anything to do with aviation, from the small mom and pop shops, to the big businesses and big names like Boeing and Northrop Grumman and others, even all the branches of the military, they're out there.
Well, and that's where you buy parts for these planes. There's probably
deals are made. Definitely, yes.
Because I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're rebuilding an airplane, it isn't like you can go to the Ford store and ask them to hand you this part that you got a picture of or a broken part. I mean, it comes down to either you're going to machine it yourself or you're going to have somebody else,
help you out with it.
Help you out with it.
And I think that's a big part of the EAA community, as a whole. Like I'll look at our local chapter and how much we help each other out, building projects. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an airplane project. It can be a car project, can be a lawnmower, can be a broken vacuum cleaner. I mean, we are enthusiasts. We are tinkerers. We love working with our hands. And that extends to the entire global EAA community that's out there. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. We're all out there to help each other to see it go forward.
You can't be hesitant. I mean, you do whatever you got to do, and then you look at it and you're going to say, well, let's give it a try. Of course, you don't fly that way, but I mean, well, you do.
Well,
too.
sometimes.
Yeah, but but you got to be able to, I mean, a machinist and an engineer could probably do a heart transplant if they really wanted to. I mean, that's I've always said that. I mean, machinist is pretty.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody that just punches buttons on a computer. I'm talking about somebody that knows.
You have a real skill set there.
Yeah, and I got a phone call the other day from somebody, and they asked me if I still have my slide rule, and I said yeah, but I'd have to locate it, and they said, do you think you could use it? And I says, probably, but I said I probably have to do a review on YouTube to figure it all out again. But yeah, I mean these are the kind of people that you're around.
Oh yeah.
I mean they're figuring everything out in their heads.
If you go to any of your local airports, Connellsville's no different. You need something done, go to the airport. There's somebody there that'll help you get it done. Period. End of statement.
And I mean, this is something we probably ought to migrate some of our youth to. I mean, and maybe even a class or something, or a part of a class, a couple times a year, or 3 times or 4 times a year, to get people acquainted to that.
We give tours out there for schools and different organizations, and I really like doing that to show the kids what we got there. And anybody that wants to do that, get a hold of us, and we'd be glad to show them, the airport. We can't show them, on every day, but like he's just saying, everybody doing something there and that, it might not be, but yeah, the more of the youth that we could get involved in that, I think the better it is. And I'm seeing in the 12 years that I've been the manager, a big difference. The youth, there was nobody wanting to fly back 12 years ago. Now there's a lot of young people and a lot of girls that are taking lessons there.
Does Civil Air Patrol still have a club out there? Or?
No, they don't have it. They did, but they don't have it there. Where is it? Is it over at Ross River?
Not at, I don't believe at Ross Traver. I believe over at Latrobe is where we still have Civil Air Patrol. Yep.
So, what else can you tell us about the EAA? And I get where you're going with all this, but is there is there a parent organization above that or below it, or
yeah? So
below
as Jen mentioned, EAA Nationals based out of Oshkosh. We're a local chapter based out of Ross Traver Airport. So we kind of grab the greater Pittsburgh area, really kind of the southern portion of the Pittsburgh area. There's also EAA chapters off to the north of Pittsburgh. There's EAA chapters all over Pennsylvania for that matter. Like I said, whether you're building an airplane, building a car, come on out. We do monthly events. The third Friday of every month. At 7:30 is whenever we have our general meetings at the airport. Everybody's welcome to come on out, try us out, see if we're a good fit for what they're looking for, and hopefully we establish a good relationship there.
You brought up a question now to me. Okay, so I got the extra money to start this hobby, not to buy an airplane, but I want to, because I imagine you can probably buy airplanes from anywhere from, I don't know.
You can spend as little as you want or as much as you want.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the way it is. I mean, it just depends on how. But how would you become? What's the protocol? How do you go through to become a pilot or yourself?
I'd say starting with going to an airport like Connellsville and hooking up with the flight school there. All flight schools will have an introductory flight lesson. Kind of gives you an opportunity to go out and taste flight for yourself. You'll get to go up and fly the airplane, your very first lesson, and see if that's something for you. And then you can establish a relationship with either, that flight school, any locals that, maybe certified flight instructors, and kind of take off from there.
Now, I'm sure that there's a written test that you have to be able to pass.
Yeah, just like driving.
Yeah.
At the end of all of your flight training, you'll end up taking a written test to show that you have the book knowledge, so to speak. You can read and understand charts, the rules. You will also go off and take a flight test. So you'll go up with a designated pilot examiner, and you will fly the airplane, and they will, just like a driver instructor rating you at the DMV, they're going to do the same thing, and if successful, you get your pilot certificate.
Yeah.
So, and, everybody along the way is very supportive. Everybody's job there is to make sure that you have the knowledge, you have the safety, you build in, all of the muscle memory to be a safe pilot moving forward. And, with good instruction, your check ride is a non-thing.
I guess I'm thinking that this would be a good thing because, Bud said that they have a plane that flies medical people for emergency medical and a helicopter right at Connellsville Airport. So they don't have to come clear from Pittsburgh or West Virginia, or they're right there. And there's an EMT people that are right there with them.
They're not only EMTs. There's nurses and practitioners and everything on the helicopter or on the fixed wing. What the fixed wing does, it takes the long hauls. I mean, it does a whole bunch of different things. If you were to go to Florida and you get hurt real bad in an accident or something, they won't bring you back on the airlines. These guys will go with everything it takes to keep you alive and bring you back. And they fly up to New York and to Buffalo, New York, and bring infants down for doctor appointments in Pittsburgh. There's stuff like that. They do a lot of.
That's on a regular basis.
When they're needed, yeah, when they're needed. So.
And they bring them back to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is one of the better hospitals okay.
And then they'll put them back in the plane and take them back home. These are why they're doing this. I mean, they have to come to Pittsburgh. I don't know, but they know. They wouldn't be doing it.
There's a reason why. Yeah,
the doctors wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. I just think that people need to. We're gonna have to get behind this a little bit more and try to get people and let people know about this. I mean, I'd be the one to be out there putting duct tape on something and taking off, but that's just the way. But it'd be trying to stop me, maybe.
I've seen that done.
Well, you know what I always said: if MacGyver had zip ties, he'd still be on TV. But anyways, that's. I mean, it's a great thing, and I really appreciate. I didn't you didn't even get to say hardly anything. We only got about a minute left, but I'm glad.
Yeah, so I first found the chapter about 3 years ago. I wanted to go to AirVenture, and my parents thought I was crazy, and they had so many questions that they wanted answered. And I just found, chapter 45 out at the Late Show Bear Show, and they were so great helping me out, and they really took me under their wing at Oshkosh, and they still do to this day. And I'm really grateful for their mentorship, especially since I'm a student pilot. Such a great wealth of knowledge. And also there's other members who are also student pilots, so there's a little bit of everything, and we're just all so grateful for the mentorship we get from chapter 45. And I really enjoy spending time out there.
So where does the plane stay static at, or it doesn't?
It doesn't. It travels every week to a new city, and then we actually winter the aircraft. This year we'll winter it in Oshkosh.
Okay. So. Now, that's probably not a real good plane to fly in the wintertime.
It's not.
Yeah.
So when we winter the aircraft, it'll sit in Oshkosh in our hangar, and we'll do all the maintenance. Annual inspection, 100-hour, everything that needs to be done so that we can get wrapped up and started for spring training.
Well, I tell you what, I want to thank you so much for the invitation. I want to thank you for everything you've done for us today, and I really appreciate it. And Bud called it. I said, let's get you on the radio today. This was an unscheduled stop here at the radio show, but I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. So I always close my show the same way. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
Mark On Building Supply has provided the tri-state area with ready-mix concrete and building